Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the anatomy of a truly terrifying modern nightmare. We're going to deconstruct a chilling story that takes the everyday digital devices we completely trust, our smartphones, our laptops, even national emergency systems, and analyzes exactly how they can be weaponized into the ultimate source of suspense. We'll be breaking this narrative down into 4 distinct acts, watching how the author ratchets up the tension from a perfectly quiet night at home into an absolutely inescapable physical threat. So let's just jump right into this incredibly unsettling question. Seriously, imagine the sheer panic of looking down at the device you probably have in your hand right this second, only to see your own face staring right back at you from a government warning. It's the central hook of our source material, and it completely strips away the comfort of the digital world, replacing it with this profound sense of vulnerability. What happens when a security alert isn't warning you about someone else, but is actually warning you about yourself? Act 1. The late night broadcast. Like all great horror, this narrative sets the scene in a perfectly mundane environment just to lull us into a false sense of security. Looking at the timeline, you can see how fast things go off the rails. It's 1:45 a.m. on a Sunday, August 9th. The protagonist is lying in bed. The house is completely, totally silent, except for that low, comforting hum of a refrigerator downstairs. They're just casually scrolling through their phone, right on the edge of sleep. And then, out of nowhere, the screen goes jet black, and a high-pitched, piercing alarm absolutely shatters the silence. What is so clever here is how the narrative subverts a real-world safety mechanism, the emergency broadcast system. We all know that sound, right? It's literally designed to bypass everything else and transmit urgent safety information directly to us. By twisting this system, the story instantly triggers our deepest, most grounded fears. There's no supernatural setup required. It goes straight for a sound we instinctively react to with immediate, heart-dropping anxiety. So, through the blaring speaker, a bright red banner pops up at the top of that frozen jet black screen. Local emergency alert, missing person. At first, you might actually breathe a tiny sigh of relief, thinking, okay, it's just a standard Amber Alert or a severe weather warning, a localized community alert. But as the protagonist looks closer at the digital poster attached to the broadcast, their chest tightens. The photo was taken inside a dark bedroom, and the person in it is looking directly at the camera. Act 2. The terrifying realization. Here is where the tension explodes from a generic community warning into a highly targeted, inescapable threat. This wasn't a look-alike. It was an impossibly specific photo. An exact photo of the protagonist, taken from an angle right near their own closet door. And the person in the photo is wearing the exact black hoodie and gray sweatpants they have on at that very second. Right beneath the image, bold black letters list their full legal name, their exact height, and their age. The threat is suddenly localized to the exact room they are sitting in. But the text description below the photo, that is where the narrative really turns the dial up to 11. The protagonist's hands start shaking violently. They try to swipe the notification away, but it's no use. The phone locks up completely. The emergency siren just keeps looping louder and louder while displaying this chilling text. It completely recontextualizes the protagonist as a highly unpredictable and dangerous entity, utterly isolating them in their own home. Act 3. The live location tracker. Before you can even process what's happening at the locked phone, the terror literally jumps across the room. Completely on its own, a laptop sitting on a nearby desk boots up, illuminating the dark bedroom with this harsh, bright blue light. A browser window automatically snaps open, bringing up a live GPS tracking map. And right there, pulsing on the screen, is a bright red dot labeled Missing Subject Location. The digital tracking is active, and whatever this threat is, it is now visibly in motion. Watching in absolute horror, the protagonist maps this red dot's precise, real-time approach toward the house. It's not just out on the street, it's moving down the driveway. Now it's opening the front door. Now it's stepping into the downstairs hallway. And then, in just a brilliant stroke of digital paranoia, the webcam light at the top of the laptop screen clicks on. It turns a solid, glowing red, meaning it is actively recording every single reaction to the approaching horror. Act 4. The bedroom encounter. We finally hit the breathless climax, where the digital tracking becomes a tangible, physical, completely unavoidable reality right outside the bedroom door. The auditory cues used here are so effective. Just imagine sliding out of bed, ducking under a small desk, and holding your breath in the pitch black. From the staircase outside, a slow, wet, dragging sound begins echoing through the silent house. Step, drag, step, drag. That little digital dot has manifested into something heavy, and it is very, very close. Just as the dragging sound reaches the top of the stairs, the phone vibrates one final time. A second pop-up update forces its way onto the frozen screen. The emergency broadcast system is now coldly narrating the protagonist's impending doom, delivering these horrific instructions. If you hear breathing outside your door, do not open your eyes. The very system meant to save them is now just doing play-by-play for their final moments. This is a masterclass in the methodical, sensory buildup of suspense. We went from a digital ping to a red dot on a map to a sound on the stairs, and now the physical breach. The door handle slowly turns downward. The door creaks open just one single inch, letting a cold draft bleed into the space where the protagonist is huddled under the desk. The entity has officially breached the threshold of the room. And then, from the suffocating darkness right above the desk, a soft, raspy whisper delivers the ultimate mic drop moment of the entire narrative. Found you. It's an absolutely terrifying conclusion that seamlessly ties the escapable nature of our digital footprint to an escapable physical presence. As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought. We surround ourselves with cameras, GPS trackers, and emergency networks all day long, completely assuming they're tools for our own security. But based on the narrative we've just deconstructed, if your phone ever broadcasts an emergency alert with your own face, will you be able to resist the urge to look for where the photo is taken? Thank you for exploring this chilling digital narrative with me. Stay safe out there and maybe keep an eye on your screens.